Welcome back everyone to Montgomery County's Engage at Home, brought to you by the county's Caregiver Support Program. We have a special guest here today who is going to be educating us about how to keep safe and prevent yourselves from being challenged by scams, etc. Welcome, Tracy. Would you please introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. My name is Tracy Rezvani. I am one of the administrators at the Montgomery County, Maryland Office of Consumer Protection, and we are an agency that was created in 1971, so we are quickly coming on our 50th anniversary.
Wonderful, thank you. So I think what we'd like to do is really learn about what are the services that the Office of Consumer Protection provide and how you help residents. I know that you are going to take us through a whole lot of wonderful online links. So let's take a look. So Tracy, what services does the Office of Consumer Protection provide and how do they help residents?
Great question. So as I mentioned, we've been in the county for about 50 years, and we provide a lot of consumer and business services. And so I think going to the website's a great place to see where you can find everything after this program. And if you look up top, you'll see that we follow the normal naming of the URL. So we're montgomerycountymd.gov/OCP for Office of Consumer Protection. And you can see all the consumer services we provide, and we'll talk about them a little bit more. One is we have a great resource library for reading if you'd like to be able to brush up on some topics. If you have want to look at our brochures and our flyers, they're here as well. And then we have these other education and outreach programs that, like these programs that we do. But you know, our main source of services to county residents is complaint handling. So if we scroll down a little bit, you can see that if you're looking to engage in a transaction with a merchant and you want to see what the complaint history is with our office, you can come to this place where it says complaint search and search for that particular merchant. So for example, if you're looking to see if we have a lot of complaints against, let's say Best Buy. So you can do a search on Best Buy and see how many complaints we've had in the last 3 years, and depending on the resolution codes, how they have fared, because that also tells you whether, if the problem, does the merchant also have good customer service and complaint resolution protocols in place. If you have a situation where you have handed money over in some kind of a consumer transaction, and there's a problem, whether you're not getting what you expected or not getting it at all, or you're having problems with returns or refunds, or pretty much any kind of problem with a consumer merchant transaction, we can handle those. And that is something that you can file here where it says file a complaint. And it's really simple and turnkey. Here's the button for how you submit a complaint, and it takes you right to the complaint portal to be able to fill out all of your information. I had mentioned the A to Z consumer advice, and so when you click on that, it'll show you how we have broken out our advice into a lot of different sort of libraries. And so if you're looking to learn more about how to take care or buy an automobile, you would go here. If you've got questions about how to handle credit or debt, we have that here, and so on. So you can spend some good quality time becoming a more robust and active consumer in the marketplace. Additionally, you can learn more about topics in more depth if you go to our newsletters. So right here under media, you'll see our newsletters, and they cover a lot of different topics. So the most recent one we issued is, can you spot a utility scam? We talked about EARP payment relief, and a lot of folks are shopping online these days. So what is the best form of an e-payment? How to best pay online? So there's a newsletter on that topic. If you've got travel plans during the pandemic, what do you need to know, etc. And obviously the census is a big thing right now. So you can spend a little time getting to know about our newsletters as well. And if you'd like to sign up to get on our mailing list, this little red envelope is how you would sign up right here. That's our e-subscription. Also on our main page is we've got a place for recent scams and alerts, as well as we've got our Twitter feed. So even if you're not on Twitter and you want to learn about all the latest scam notices we're putting out, you can just scroll through and learn about the 250 COVID-19 scams that the FTC has put out warning letters about, for example, or how to spot a census scam, etc. So you can find out more here. If you go to our scams and alerts, as you can see right now, we're focusing on COVID-19 scams because that's the most prevalent. And you can see about all the different kinds of scams. And this is just a real good summary. And we do have some audio clips, some phone scams, so that you can understand and be able to listen to them and know just what they sound like. But you can also click on here where it says more scams and learn about all the other fun things happening, like the check fraud, when checks show up in the mail and they're for the wrong payment or they want a refund because they changed their mind. This is how the check fraud scam works, because those checks ultimately are not good, even if your bank is making it available. Again, we have on Social Security scams, energy, hot package or shipping fraud, Medicare scams, etc. So you can find a lot about the common scams that we're seeing here on at the OCP. Oh, and also, if you want to see about what kind of upcoming events we have a calendar of our virtual programs that we're holding right now. Last but not least, we also have buttons here. Here's our Facebook button, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, and we'll dive in a little bit more in a bit. And even if you don't have those accounts, since we're a public-facing agency, you can come to our homepage and click on these buttons and go there at will, and you'll be able to read everything that we're posting or watch our videos at will.
That's amazing information. So you touched on something that is near and dear to my heart, and sadly we are at home and more of us are exclusively using the internet. We're more at home, so we're hearing the phone ring. What kind of new scams are out there, and what do you want to share with us?
There are a lot of scams out there. I think, we can go back to what we're seeing a lot of. So I will take you to our scam bank, which is where we are collecting examples that you, our scam busters, are sending us of phishing scams. So scams that are coming to your text or to your emails, or smishing scams, which are scams that come to your text, or if you're on WhatsApp or any of those other social media platforms, scams are coming there as well. And so anytime you share examples with us, I'll post it here on the scam bank. But what we're seeing a lot of is bogus products that don't actually prevent or cure the coronavirus. But there are so many products out there, from herbs to sound waves to silver to vitamin C. I mean, as I mentioned, there's 250 warning letters out there, and some of those companies are right here in Maryland. So it's not as if these companies that are being warned are somewhere else. They could be right here. So we're seeing a lot of bogus products. We're also seeing a lot of instances where people are getting emails offering up masks, offering up other kinds of PPE, and folks are ordering these products and never getting them. And so that's the other scam. There's a lot of these companies that are just offering products they don't have, but they just want to be able to get your money. And so unavailable product sales is another scam that we're seeing a lot of. We're also seeing, and the WSSC has been really vocal about it, water filters, air filter scams. these kinds of, the filter society, if you will, has been really pressing how to make your air safer in your home, how to make your water safer. WSSC has made it categorically clear you don't need an expensive water filtration system to make the water supply safe. It's already safe. Those are not the water droplets or the droplets that you need to be worried about. And yet we do see, at least the WSSC has been seeing a lot of those scams as well. Vaccinations, these companies are out there offering vaccinations when, as we all know, no such thing exists that's been proven or FDA approved. You may get a lot of charity scams for people who need help, or some kind of a nonprofit that's out there working on a cure, for example. So you have to be aware that fraudsters pose as charities, and in Maryland, that charity must be registered with the Secretary of State. And so that's really, really important to check there first. FINRA and the NASD, NASDAQ, and SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, is warning about investment scams. So you may be approached about investing in companies that are working on a cure or a preventative. You have to be very careful about it. Phone calls are going to be coming in offering you free tests or more insurance or all sorts of things. And, you know, ordinarily they're either looking for your personal information, like your Social Security or Medicare or health insurance number, or they're trying to get you to pay over the phone in some way. So it's really, really important when it comes to any robocall to have your voicemail or your answering machine screen those calls so that you're not bothered by those folks. And if you happen to pick up, just hang up. There's no one's going to be calling you to offer you tests. That's just not how it works. So those are large scale problems that we are seeing, but I'm going to take you over to our scam bank, which is on our Facebook page. So that's our Facebook page, which is ocp.consumerwise, and that's Director Friedman, who you may know. And under photos, right here, we have the COVID-19 scam bank. And you can see, as soon as it loads, what these look like. So for example, here's an example of your stimulus check. So this came in as a, this was one we picked up from a news program, but this was out of an email, and they just wanted you to click here. So what happens, first of all, no government is going to send something with this many commas and poor punctuation and then random letters. So that's one clear notion that this is not an official document. And as you can see, it ends in .com. Anything that doesn't end in a .gov is not coming from the government. So when you click on these kinds of emails or texts, one of two things happens. You either end up downloading a virus or malware, and now the bad guys have complete access to everything that you do on your computer, or you're engaging with them in a way that they start to collect maybe your payment for something, or both. So you may be coming out of it double harmed if you click on anything like that in an email. So here was another example where there was an email that was going around that World Health Organization was offering you some information, and all you had to do was download the information on safety measures. So when you clicked on that button, you know, all sorts of bad things could possibly have happened. And so this was a big fake that was flagged for sure. Here was a hoax that was going around on social media. This looks like it was coming in via text. And it was something about the National Guard allegedly warning that the whole country was going to be shut down. Who knows why that hoax was out there? It wasn't asking for any money, but hoaxes are out there to spread misinformation as well, because if they sow fear, fear causes people to make decisions they normally would not. Here's another example of a text message randomly coming to your phone. Hey, someone you came into contact with has COVID-19. So they're pretending they're contact tracers. please click here. And if you notice, again, it's ending in .com. As a general rule, avoid anything that doesn't end in .com, and make sure .gov. I'm sorry, to make sure it comes in a .gov. You may end up interacting with some nonprofits, but it's really, really important to vet anyone and everyone out there. Here's another example of the most recent thing that we had gotten a hold of. It was a car dealership that was sending out advertising, making it seem like they were a stimulus check. So basically, the stimulus relief program was a fake check, which was essentially some kind of a coupon to get you to come in and buy a car. But it's basically it's marketing on the current climate, and it was just completely and utterly unfair. So if you'd like to take some time to go through our scam bank, that is absolutely a great way to become educated as to what they look like. And one thing I wanted to share with you about looking at the email address. A scam buster came to us having interacted with an airline, and it was, we'll say Delta. So she wanted to cancel her flight, and she had gotten an email from something like that looked like it came from Delta. And they said, if you want to cancel your flight, click here. So somehow the bad guys knew she had a flight scheduled on Delta, and it wasn't from delta.com, it was from o.delta.com. So those websites, those email addresses, you have to be very, very look at them very closely, because they can disguise the page and it will look exactly like the bank you're dealing with, the airline you're dealing with your doctor's office, anyone. You have to be very vigilant when working online, but there are easy tells, and poor language is one of them, and having a wrong website address in the email is another dead giveaway.
Thank you. So thinking more about scams and consumer protection, I know that you have a range of other tools that are available to assist consumers navigate this and to keep themselves well informed. Would you mind stepping us through those?
Sure. So one other area that I mentioned earlier that you might want to look into would be our YouTube page. So let's click onto YouTube. So our channel on YouTube is Consumer Wise, because we feel that our consumers are wise. And after every one of our educational programs, I always say, you are now my deputies. And so please go out and share with what you have learned. The greatest place to start is in our playlists, which is here, the third tab. And when you click on that, it takes you to, again, a library that has been created and sorted. So the webinar tab is what we have been recently working towards. And so if you want to learn more about all the different kinds of scams generally that are out there and how they might be morphing for the census or the coronavirus, this is where you would go. So we have several on scams, how to protect yourself from identity theft, home buying tips, how to be more financially literate, for example. And if you're looking to go solar, we've got a program on that as well. But say you want to learn more about there we go. If you want to learn more about our consumer alerts, these were our programs that we had for years, and we're hoping to get them back. But the consumer alerts are roughly 2.5 minute nuggets, and they talk about various consumer issues. So if you want to learn about how to teach personal finance to kids, or you want to learn about our enforcement authority, because as a law enforcement authority, if during our investigations the law has been broken, we can bring charges or fine the company. If you want to know how to hire a home improvement contractor safely, well, you can learn from Investigator Escobar, and she can tell you all about it. Learn about recent phone scams and our mediation services. So you can spend some good quality time in our consumer alert page as well. And, but as you can see, we have it on very many topics. We're starting to populate it in other languages as well. And so this could probably be a really good resource for consumer education generally, but really about scams specifically.
Wonderful. Such an incredible resource. So I can imagine that there are folk out there who either have seen something like this, they may have concerns. How can people bring these questions to you? And, how can they contact you? We're in shutdown. How can people
Right.
actually connect with a person?
Got it. Well, we have a few ways. I'm going to take you back to our website. And by the way, this link, which I didn't take folks on, has consumer resources that have been impacted by the coronavirus. So if you have questions about your health club visits, or if you want to get the main governor alerts that affect your life as a consumer, AG alerts, we've collected them all in one place. But if you go to the top of our page, one, it shows an email address that you can use to email us, because right now during this stage our phone lines have been turned off because we're all on mandatory telework. The best way to reach us is to either contact MC311 and have them get your phone number, and then we will call you back, or you can email us directly with your contact information and then we can call you back. And so we field hundreds of calls and inquiries, social media hits, people fax or mail in questions to us, and they could run the gamut of, I don't know what happened to me was a scam. I want to be able to talk to someone about it, to, I think I have been scammed, or I think I'm having problems with a merchant. What do I do next? So we field inquiries every day, 8 to 5, Monday to Friday. After this is all over, if you have any questions, and hopefully we'll have the phone lines turned on before long, you can go to contact us right here, and you will then have our contact information. So here is our main phone number right here at the top, and you can call that. And if you want to know how to be able to find us on social media, they're all right there. And remember, this is how you can be on our newsletter, so you can get our newsletters directly. But until we are back in business, the best way is to either call MC311 or email us, and then we will get back with you.
And you raise something that is so important, is if you either think you've been scammed or you've got a question that you really are feeling as if you may actually want to click on something or whatever, it's better to get it verified or immediately report it. Because the sad thing is that a lot of folk don't report things because they're embarrassed or they're feeling ashamed. And by reporting things immediately, there could be actually something done. Plus, you and your department are also able to take action and hopefully shut that down so no one else gets inflicted by that.
That's right. And we do, one of the things that we know is that scams and fraud is woefully underreported. And even with what is reported, Americans are losing millions and millions of dollars every year. So we coordinate at the state level, we coordinate with federal. So even if it's an issue involving, say, you've got a phone bank in India that's caused you harm, we can then help you get in touch with the right authorities to make sure that you have placed your dispute in the right hands. Always feel free to start with us. We're local, we're right there, we're there for you. And if for some reason it's something that is international in scope and we have to coordinate, we absolutely will help you do that.
Completely. Wonderful. And whilst we're still on your webpage, would you mind scrolling right to the top? Because I want to remind people that up the top there, we have Montgomery County's official COVID-19 updates. And if people click on that, that's when they can also learn about what disruptions to services there are, actually what supports are out there in the community. On the bottom right-hand side, there is a love heart and community resources. That actually can take people to legitimate and coordinated through Montgomery County transportation, access to food, rent assistance, and all of that sort of thing. And that's an example of where we work in partnership with trusted organizations. Tracy, this has been an amazing interview. You are always an inspiration. The work that you and the entire team do are, really the shining light of consumer protection in Montgomery County. Are there any closing inspirational words or comments that you'd like to leave with our viewers?
Only that, as I mentioned, we're here for you. If you have questions, concerns, definitely reach out to us. If you have examples that you'd like to share for our scam bank, please send them our way, because you can help us help others. And as I mentioned, once you're done listening to this program and spending some time on our YouTube page or on our social media pages, consider yourself deputies, and please, please share what you've learned or our resources with your friends and family, so that we can continue to grow our Scam Buster Brigade. Thank you so much.
Beautiful. I'm sure there's going to be many more deputies signing up. So thank you once again, Tracy. So this has been another episode with Montgomery County's Engage at Home. If you have any questions regarding caregiver support, please contact the county's Aging and Disability Services on 240-777-3000. I wish you and your loved ones well, and stay calm.